Next year you're turning 90, not you, but the restaurant.
Correct. Yes, so we'll be here for 90 years next year. We're looking to make it to 100 is my goal.
Well, what are you going to do for the 90th, and then maybe tell us what you're going to do for the 100th, because we're going to hold you to it.
Yes. Well, we might put up, just some signs. Maybe we'll run a few specials on items, for 1925 prices, which we still have menus for. We'll see, but it's fun. My grandfather started the business in 1925.
What should everybody know about your grandfather?
That he was a wonderful man and a smart businessman, and opened up on a corner and facing traffic on Lexington Avenue in a well-to-do area that would always do well even in good times and bad times. And he was right, because we did survive the Depression, the recessions, inflation, and we're in one of the best zip codes in America. Back then they didn't have zip codes.
Tell everybody what zip code it is.
10028. And my father came over from Greece and joined his father in 1930. Things got rough during the Depression. My grandfather had a partner originally, and at one point, business was so slow that my father actually had to go find employment someplace else for about a year or so. Then he came back. My grandfather's original partner left. Went back to Greece, and the rest is history, so to speak.
What can you tell us about the phone number Butterfield 8?
Butterfield 8. The question is, how many people actually know a phone number that starts with a name? Well, Butterfield was there was a movie made, Butterfield 8, with Elizabeth Taylor, but this was the area that had Butterfield 8, BU8. It was a thing. But people who don't know about this,
you
could
basically, to everybody, because no
these exchanges, people.
This is way before cell phones.
Yes, way before. If you told people ask you what is your phone number, you wouldn't give all numbers. You would say like Butterfield 8. Right away, people knew you were on the Upper East Side, or Region 4, which was like Madison Avenue, also on the Upper East Side. Where I grew up in Jackson Heights, the exchanges were Hickory 6, Illinois 4, Havamaya 9. Everybody knew you were from the Jackson Heights, Elmhurst area and stuff like that. So basically you knew an idea what the neighborhood was. And this was Butterfield 8. This was a prized exchange, and it still is. So
you have the same original phone number.
We have the same original phone number. So a couple of years ago, we updated them. We changed the menus and everything, and I got rid of Butterfield 8 off the menu. I caught a lot of grief. What? And here's something I never thought people looked at the phone number and identify with it. So I decided to change it because everything is going to numeric. Well, I got rid of the Butterfield 8, and I caught grief until I redid the menus and put back Butterfield 8. Now, underneath it, in parentheses, I put down the actual numbers, because right now, if you tell somebody what's your phone number, if somebody asked me what my phone number was and I said BU8, they wouldn't have a clue. So I had to put it back, and I put it back with parentheses. Yeah. So and as jumping back to the store, the way you see it now was changed in 1948. At that point, my father and my grandfather determined that what you see now would be more profitable all year round, serving food. We used to make our own chocolates and candies in the basement. And that was a business that didn't do well in the summer months. And they decided to get away from it and went to what we have today. For whatever reason, they decided not to change the name of the store. So we're still known as Lexington Candy Shop. That's our corporate name. That's our name on the street. The problem is, Google doesn't exactly differentiate, so we get a lot of phone calls all the time asking us if we carry different types of candies. We do have some candy up front as part of a legacy.
All right, well, maybe we can help you with your Google.
Maybe. So, that's why we're still called Lexington Candy Shop. They didn't ever change the name, and now there's no sense changing it at this point. We try to emphasize on Facebook or on the menu, business cards, there were an original American New York City luncheonette, one way or another, and that seems to work. But so that was it, and my father ran the business, and then I joined him in 1980. I worked while I was a kid here, and then I went to college, this and that. My father was not ready to retire, and I had a case of the guilt of walking away from a viable business, a good business. And I said, you know what, let me do it for a couple of years. And well, a couple of years is now 34 years.
So I guess you're glad you did it.
I'm glad I did it. It's nice. It's a piece
And
of
your son
history.
is next, right?
I like the historical aspect of it. I like dealing with the people most of the time, and I like being in the food business. I have a wonderful partner now, Bob Karcher, who we've been together for over 24 years. And we basically have the same values and ideas, and it's worked out really, really well. Yes, I do have a son. I have a son and a daughter. And I tell you, if you had asked me a couple of years ago, who would be better at this? My son or my daughter? I would have told you my daughter. My daughter really had a knack for this business, but she went and married an Air Force pilot. Went to Tulane, got her master's, got her MRS as well, and married a Tulane pilot, a Tulane graduate also, and they're living out in California. But ironically, my son has come into the food business. He helps me out on weekends, helps us out on weekends, but he's a manager at a Midtown Steakhouse, Bobby Vans, during the week. He likes it a lot, but you know, he still appreciates the family end of it, the family business, the history aspect.
Well, happy early 90th. We're going to have to come back and check out
Absolutely.
what you do.
We'll be here.